I still remember the afternoons spent at Grandma Aurora's house, surrounded by the comforting scent of fresh-baked cookies and the warmth of her loving gaze. Her blue eyes sparkled like a summer sky on a cloudless day, radiating a sense of peace and understanding that could heal any pain. With every hug, I felt seen, heard, and loved doubly. Uncherished. To she. Me. She her stories. Wisdom wart. Seemed timeless in them grandmother. See my and grandmother. Like an open book. A life lived. Fully. Her laughter echoed through our family gatherings, a joyful sound that seemed to emanate from the very core of her being. I cherished those moments, feeling the warmth of her love and the comfort of her presence. But life has a way of surprising us, doesn't it? Sometimes, it takes a single moment to shatter our perceptions, to reveal a truth that's been hiding in plain sight. For me, that moment arrived on a somber day, when I was going through Grandma Aurora's belongings after she passed away. I had expected to find the usual mementos, old photographs, yellowed letters, and perhaps a few treasured family heirlooms. Instead, I stumbled upon something that would change everything I thought I knew about her, about our family, and about the very fabric of our history. It was an old, wooden box, tucked away in a corner of her attic. The box itself was unassuming, its surface worn smooth by the touch of countless hands over the years. But as I lifted the lid, a faint scent of lavender wafted out, carrying with it memories of Grandma Aurora's garden. And there, nestled among the soft folds of a yellowed handkerchief, lay a small, leather-bound diary. The cover was worn, its once rich brown now faded to a soft sepia. The pages, too, were yellowed with age, their edges curled and crackling with a delicate fragility. As I opened the diary, a sense of trepidation washed over me. What secrets could these pages hold? What stories would they tell? The entries began with a single, cryptic phrase, "For the love of my life, and the treasure we shared." My heart skipped a beat as I turned the page, devouring the words that spilled out onto the paper. The more I read, the more I realized that Grandma Aurora's life was not as simple, not as straightforward, as I had believed. There were hints of a forbidden love, of sacrifices made and secrets kept, of a treasure lost and found across generations. It was as if I had stumbled into a world I never knew existed, a world that both fascinated and intimidated me. As I sit here now, holding this diary in my hands, this crumbling testament to a life lived fully and fiercely, I am compelled to share its secrets with you. Over the coming hours, I will take you on a journey through the hidden corners of our family's history, a journey that will reveal the extraordinary life of Grandma Aurora, a life marked by love, loss, and the enduring power of the human spirit. In the days that followed, I found myself lost in the pages of this diary, uncovering secrets that both shocked and moved me. I saw Grandma Aurora in a new light, as a woman who lived through historical turmoil, who loved deeply and lost profoundly. Her story is one of resilience, of the human capacity to endure and to love, even in the face of adversity. As we embark on this journey together, through the highs and lows of Grandma Aurora's life, I invite you to join me in uncovering the mysteries hidden within these yellowed pages. Let us explore the depths of her love, the breadth of her sacrifice, and the legacy she left behind. For in doing so, I believe we will discover not only the truth about our family's past but also the enduring power of love to transform and to heal. The story you are about to hear is more than a family history, it is a testament to the human spirit, a reminder that our lives are woven together by threads of love, loss, and memory. And as we delve into the secrets of Grandma Aurora's hidden diary, I hope you will find yourself drawn into a world of wonder, a world that will touch your heart and perhaps, just perhaps, change the way you see your own family, your own history, and your own place within it. In the stillness of the evening, as the shadows dance upon the walls, I sense Grandma Aurora's presence around me, guiding me through the twists and turns of her story. Her voice whispers in my ear, urging me to share the truth, to reveal the secrets that have been hidden for so long. And so, with her love and guidance, I begin this journey, this odyssey through the hidden corners of our family's past. With every word, every sentence, I feel the weight of her legacy upon me. It is a legacy of love, of sacrifice, and of hope. A legacy that transcends generations, speaking to the very heart of what it means to be human. And as we walk this path together, I invite you to reflect on your own story, on the secrets that have been kept, on the loves that have been shared, and on the memories that have shaped you into the person you are today. The story of Grandma Aurora's hidden diary is a story of us all, a story of our shared humanity, with all its triumphs and tribulations. It is a story that will make you laugh and cry, that will make you reflect on the preciousness of life and the power of love to overcome even the most daunting challenges. And so, let us begin. Let us assistant as I open the diary, now lying open on my lap, faded sunlight casting a warm glow on the pages. Its words transport me to a world both familiar and unknown. A world where love was a flame that burned brightly, yet was forced to flicker in the shadows. A world where the lines between right and wrong were blurred by the necessities of survival. A world where the past and present collided in unexpected ways. The entries are dated, spanning several decades, each one a window into the soul of a woman I thought I knew. The early pages speak of a young love, pure and unadulterated, a love that knew no bounds. They speak of her dreams, her fears, and her unwavering commitment to a cause that would change the course of her life forever. As I read on, echoes of historical events emerge, wars, revolutions, and social upheaval, all serving as a backdrop to Grandma Aurora's extraordinary story. I see her navigating a world fraught with danger, making choices that would have far-reaching consequences for our family. And then, there's the mention of a treasure, a lost and found treasure that becomes a symbol of hope, of a love that transcends time and circumstance. The more I read, the more I realized that Grandma Aurora's life was a tapestry woven from threads of courage, love, and resilience. Her words paint vivid pictures in my mind, a moonlit night, a secret meeting, a love that dare not speak its name. I see her, a young woman, determined and scared, making decisions that would shape the destiny of our family for generations to come. The diary becomes a portal to the past, a past that was both foreign and intimate. With each passing page, I feel the boundaries between then and now blurring, the distance between Grandma Aurora and me shrinking. I begin to understand the sacrifices she made, the weight of her secrets, and the depth of her love. As I close the diary for a moment, taking a deep breath to process the emotions swirling within me, I feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude. Gratitude for Grandma Aurora, for the love she shared, for the secrets she kept, and for the legacy she left behind. I feel a deep connection to her, a sense of understanding that transcends words. The story of Grandma Aurora's hidden diary is a journey, not a destination. It is a journey into the heart of our family's history, into the very essence of love and sacrifice. And as we embark on this journey together, I invite you to walk alongside me, to explore the depths of Grandma Aurora's story extraordinary and ordinary _start and I assistant. I invite you to bear walk in alongside me, to join to expo grandmother and to join to along to discover. Along her to bear witness to a life lived love sacrifice discover along her story extraordinary. And ordinary moments that made Aurora extraordinary woman. She was. She is to all love along share her story you to discover. Discover a woman of strength courage and resilience. You will see her with a fresh a pair of eyes. Eyes that see not just the exterior but interior of the heart. Along her to life. Love. Loss. You see. You to find yourself. Along a journey through. Human. Emotion. Deep. Rich. And complex. The story you are about to hear to know is one a testament. Human heart. A journey through. Through love loss. And the enduring power of spirit. To heal. To overcome. To persevere. I invite along to share this journey. To walk alongside Aurora. Discover her story. A story extraordinary. And ordinary moments. Made Aurora. Woman. Strength. Courage. Resilience. Discover her. See her. Fresh. Pair. Eyes. See not just exterior. Interior. Heart. To life. Love. loss. To bear witness a life lived, love, sacrifice, discover along her story extraordinary. Ordinary moments made Aurora extraordinary woman she is to all, love along share her story you to discover woman strength courage resilience you see her with a fresh pair of eyes that see not just exterior interior heart to life love loss I remember grandmother. Blue eyes. Summer sky. Warm hugs. Comfort. Love. And now. Her diary. Secrets. Revealed. Shattering. My. Perception. Her. An open book. No. Shattering a perception grandmother. Life. Not. As. Simple. As. I. Thought. Love. Loss. Treasure. Family. History. Discover along her story extraordinary ordinary moments made Aurora extraordinary woman she is to all love along share her story you to discover a woman of strength courage and resilience you see her with a pair of here's assistant header underscore end. I still recall the afternoon spent at Grandma Aurora's house, surrounded header underscore start by the warmth of her loving love. Her blue eyes sparkled like a summer sky on a cloudless day radiating a sense of peace and understanding that could heal any pain. With every hug I felt seen, heard, and cherished. Her stories, wisdom, seemed timeless. And them grandmother. See my and grandmother. Like an open book. A life lived fully. Her laughter echoed through our family gatherings, a joyful sound that seemed to emanate from the very core of her being. I cherished those moments, feeling the warmth of her love and the comfort of her presence. But life has a way of surprising us, doesn't it? Sometimes it takes a single moment to shatter our perceptions, to reveal a truth that's been hiding in plain sight. For me, that moment arrived on a somber day, when I was going through Grandma Aurora's belongings after she passed away. I had expected it to find the usual mementos, old photographs, yellowed letters, and perhaps a few treasured family heirlooms. Instead, I stumbled upon something that would change everything I thought I knew about her, about our family, and about the very fabric of our history. It was an old wooden box, tucked away in a corner of her attic. The box itself was unassuming, its surface worn smooth by the touch of countless hands over the years. But as I lifted the lid, a faint scent of lavender wafted out, carrying with it memories of Grandma Aurora's garden. And there, nestled among the soft folds of a yellowed handkerchief, lay a small, leather-bound diary. The cover was worn, its once rich brown now faded to a soft sepia. The pages, too, were yellowed with age, their edges curled and crackling with a delicate fragility. As I opened the diary, a sense of trepidation washed over me. What secrets could these pages hold? What stories would they tell? The entries began with a single, cryptic phrase, "For the love of my life," and the treasure we shared. My heart skipped a beat as I turned the page, devouring the words that spilled out onto the paper. The more I read, the more I realized that Grandma Aurora's life was not as simple, not as straightforward as I had believed. There were hints of a forbidden love, of sacrifices made, and secrets kept, of a treasure lost and found across generations. It was as if I had stumbled into a world I never knew existed, a world that both fascinated and intimidated me. As I sit here now, holding this diary in my hands, this crumbling testament to a life lived fully and fiercely, I am compelled to share its secrets with you. Over the coming hours, I will take you on a journey through the hidden corners of our family's history. A journey that will reveal the extraordinary life of Grandma Aurora. A life marked by love, loss, and the enduring power of the human spirit. In the days that followed, I found myself lost in the pages of this diary, uncovering secrets that both shocked and moved me. I saw Grandma Aurora in a new light. As a woman who lived through historical turmoil, who loved deeply and lost profoundly. Her story is one of resilience, of the human capacity to endure and to love, even in the face of adversity. As we embark on this journey together, through the highs and lows of Grandma Aurora's life, I invite you to join me to uncover the mysteries hidden within these yellowed pages. Let us explore the depths of her love, the breadth, the warmth of those late summer afternoons in Willow Creek still lingers in my heart, a gentle reminder of the simple joys that life once offered. As I sit here, surrounded by the memories of a lifetime, I find myself drifting back to those carefree days, when the world seemed to slow down and let the beauty of nature take center stage. It was an era of innocence, a time when the troubles of the world seemed far, far away, and all that mattered was the love that filled our little farmhouse. Willow Creek, in the late 1930s, was a place where time stood still. A small, quiet rural town, nestled in the heart of the countryside, where everyone knew everyone, and life revolved around the land and the changing seasons. The air was alive with the sweet scent of blooming wildflowers and the earthy smell of freshly tilled soil. It was a place where tradition and nature dictated the rhythm of daily life. Mornings began before the sun rose high, with the sound of roosters crowing and the soft murmur of morning prayers. The fields beckoned, and the work was hard but fulfilling, for it was in those early hours that the day's promise seemed brightest. In our little farmhouse, surrounded by fields of golden wheat and green pastures dotted with wildflowers, lived a family bound by love and a deep connection to the land. My parents, hard-working and kind, their faces creased by the relentless sun and their hands roughened by the labor of the earth, yet their eyes always warm with love and support. My older brother, Thomas, with his dreams of flying high in the skies, his heart filled with a sense of adventure and a year offering to explore the world beyond our fields. And then there was Lily, my younger sister, with her poetic soul, seeing beauty in every cloud, every leaf, and every dewdrop, her imagination as vast and deep as the ocean. And I, Aurora, in the prime of my youth, with a heart full of dreams and a mind full of questions. I was a dreamer, with a love for reading that took me to far-off lands and introduced me to characters who became my closest friends. Under the sprawling branches of our old oak tree, I'd lose myself in the pages of a well-loved book, imagining a world beyond the hills and valleys rolling of our beloved home. My parents encouraged my love for learning, seeing it as a way to broaden my horizons, even as they instilled in me the value of hard work and the beauty of simplicity. Our days were simple, dictated by the seasons and the needs of the farm. Mornings in the fields, afternoons at school, and nights under the starry sky, with the family gathered round the radio, listening to the news of a world that seemed so far away. Yet, in those moments, I felt a sense of restlessness, a yearning for something more, something I couldn't quite put my finger on. It was as if the stories I read, the dreams I harbored, and the questions I had about the world beyond our little town, stirred within me a desire for adventure, for a life that, though rooted in the familiar, would take me to places I'd only imagined. The evenings were my favorite, with the family gathered on the porch, watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of pink and orange. Thomas would talk of his flying dreams, of the world he'd one day explore. Lily would recite her poems, her voice a melody that seemed to match the rhythm of the crickets. And I would listen, lost in my thoughts, my heart whispering questions about the future, about what lay beyond the horizon of our quiet lives. In those serene moments, under the vast expanse of the evening sky, I felt a sense of contentment wash over me. It was a feeling of being exactly where I was meant to be, surrounded by the people and the land I loved. Yet, deep down, a subtle stirring had begun, a whisper of discontent that would one day grow into a roar, challenging the very foundations of our peaceful existence. Little did I know, the tranquility of Willow Creek was but a calm before the storm, a deceptive stillness that would soon give way to the turbulent winds of change, altering the course of my life and the lives of those I loved forever. As I sit here, surrounded by the memories of my childhood, I find myself drifting back to the summer of 39, when the world began to change in ways we could hardly imagine. The air was alive with the sweet scent of blooming wildflowers and the distant hum of cicadas, a soothing serenade that filled our days with laughter and warmth. Our little town of Willow Creek was a haven of peace, where time seemed to stand still. But, like the first whispers of autumn's breeze, the news of a war brewing in Europe began to seep into our tranquil lives. At first, it was just a rumor, a faint murmur on the radio broadcasts that Thomas, my brother, would listen to with wide eyes, his imagination sparked by tales of heroism and adventure. Our parents, however, were more cautious, their faces etched with worry as they spoke in hushed tones about the rising tensions and the possibility of America being drawn into the conflict. My mother would often glance out the window, her eyes scanning the horizon as if searching for signs of change on the wind. "Aurora, that's me, or at least, that's the girl I was back then." I recall feeling a sense of disconnection, as if the world beyond our town was spinning out of control, while we remained safely ensconced in our little bubble of routine and familiarity. I spent my days lost in the pages of books, dreaming of far-off places and exotic lands, my heart beating with a restlessness I couldn't quite explain. But as the summer waned and the days grew shorter, the news grew more ominous. The words Nazism and war began to appear in the newspapers, casting a shadow over our carefree existence. I remember the evening my father brought home a newspaper with a headline that read, "Hitler's army marches into Poland." The room seemed to shrink, the air thickening with an unspoken fear. It was on one of these evenings, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over our small living room, that I began to feel the ground beneath me shifting. My parents sat on the couch, their faces illuminated only by the soft light of the lamp, their voices barely above a whisper as they discussed the implications of the war. Thomas, ever the optimist, sat on the floor, his eyes shining with excitement, already envisioning himself as a hero, fighting for our country. I, on the other hand, felt a growing sense of unease, a creeping realization that the world was not as safe as I had believed. As the days turned into weeks, the presence of the war grew more pronounced. We heard rumors of families in the city losing loved ones, of rationing and shortages, of a world that was rapidly changing. And then, one afternoon, as I walked home from the library, I saw him, a young man in a military uniform, standing on the edge of town, his eyes scanning the horizon as if searching for something, or someone. There was something about him that caught my attention, a sense of purpose, of restlessness, that seemed to vibrate through every line of his body. He was not from around here, that much was clear. The way he carried himself, with an air of confidence that bordered on quiet authority, set him apart from the other boys in town. As our eyes met, I felt a jolt, a spark of connection that I couldn't ignore. He introduced himself as Elias, his voice low and smooth, with a hint of an accent I couldn't quite place. We stood there for a moment, the only sound being the rustling of the leaves in the wind, as I felt the world around me slow down. There was something in his eyes, a depth, a sense of secrets kept, that drew me in. "I'm passing through," he said, his gaze lingering on mine before shifting to the landscape beyond. "Heading to the city, to report for duty." I nodded, feeling a sense of wonder at the vastness of the world beyond our little town. As we talked, I sensed that Elias was not like the other boys who had left to join the war effort. There was an air of mystery about him, a sense of secrets kept, that piqued my curiosity. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the fields, Elias walked with me to the edge of town, our steps synchronized as if by unspoken agreement. We didn't talk much, but the silence between us was comfortable, like a warm blanket on a cold winter's night. It was as if the universe had conspired to bring us together, to spark a connection that would change the course of my life forever. Little did I know, Elias was not just a stranger in a military uniform, he was a messenger of change, a harbinger of the dangers and uncertainties that lay ahead. As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Elias turned to me, his eyes locking onto mine with an intensity that made my heart skip a beat. "Aurora," he said, his voice low and husky, "I think I'll be seeing you again." And with that, he turned and walked away, leaving me standing there, feeling the weight of 1,000 unanswered questions, and a sense of foreboding that would haunt me for days to come. I watched him disappear into the night, wondering what secrets he carried, and what lay ahead for both of us. The darkness seemed to vibrate with possibility. Header_start, as if the very fabric of our lives was about to be forever altered. As I turned the pages of Grandma Aurora's hidden diary, I couldn't help but feel the weight of her secrets, the whispers of a love that dared not speak its name. The summer of 1939 had brought a sense of unease to our small town of Willow Creek, with the war in Europe looming like a dark shadow on the horizon. But for Aurora, it was a season of discovery, of forbidden love, and of choices that would alter the course of her life forever. In the warm, golden light of a setting sun, Aurora and Elias would steal away to secret meeting spots, their hearts beating as one. The old barn, with its rustic charm and soft, hay-scented air, became their sanctuary. They'd sit together, watching the stars twinkle to life, their love growing with each passing day. The sunflower field, with its statuesque blooms and vibrant yellow petals, was another haven, where they'd walk hand in hand, their footsteps quiet on the dusty earth. But Elias, the charming young soldier, was not who he seemed. As he revealed his true identity as a German scientist deserter, Aurora's world was turned upside down. He had come to Willow Creek with a mission, to find a powerful encryption device, an artifact that could change the course of the war. This device, Elias explained, was hidden in a secret, ancient labyrinth beneath the town's old church, a labyrinth left behind by his mentor, a clockmaker. As they navigated the treacherous landscape of their love, Aurora and Elias were aware of the danger lurking in the shadows. Nazi agents, disguised as civilians, began to appear in Willow Creek, their eyes scanning the crowds for any sign of Elias or the artifact. The air grew thick with tension, and Aurora's heart pounded in her chest as she noticed strange looks, felt unseen eyes upon her. The diary, once Aurora's sole confidant, with its blank pages and leather-bound cover, now seemed to pulse with a newfound significance. She poured her heart onto its pages, recording her fears, her forbidden love, and her growing determination to protect Elias and the artifact. As she wrote, the words flowed from her like a river, a cathartic release of emotion she dare not speak aloud. One evening, with the lantern's soft glow casting eerie shadows on the walls, Elias and Aurora set out to explore the labyrinth beneath the church. The air was heavy with the scent of damp earth and decay, and the sound of dripping water echoed through the passages. Cobwebs clung to their faces, and ancient symbols etched into the stone seemed to whisper secrets in the darkness. As they made their way deeper into the labyrinth, the artifact's presence seemed to draw near, a siren's call that beckoned them forward. Aurora's transformation was underway, a shift from passive observer to active participant in Elias's perilous mission. Her growing courage, resourcefulness, and internal conflict would lead her down a path of self-discovery, one that would test her love, her loyalty, and her very sense of self. The stakes were rising, and I, as I read Grandma Aurora's words, felt the weight of her legacy, the burden of secrets kept, and the power of love to overcome even the darkest of times. In the stillness of the night, as I closed the diary, I knew that I had to share Grandma Aurora's story, to honor her memory, and to reveal the truth about the woman I thought I knew. The lines between love, loyalty, and deception were about to blur, and I was compelled to follow the path she had laid out, into the heart of the storm, and into the light of redemption. As I recall the events that unfolded in the labyrinthine passages beneath our small town, I feel the weight of those moments settling upon me like a shroud. The air was heavy with anticipation, thick with the scent of damp earth and decay, as Aurora and Elias finally stumbled upon the hidden chamber. Their hearts racing in unison, they approached the artifact, a device of intricate beauty, its metal surface etched with symbols that seemed to dance in the flickering torchlight. The silence was oppressive, a palpable force that pressed against their skin as they worked to unlock the final puzzles, to disable the traps set by the ingenious clockmaker. Every sound seemed amplified, the creaking of old wood, the soft gasps of exertion, and the muffled echoes of their ragged breathing. It was as if the very walls were watching, waiting for them to succeed or fail. And then, just as their fingers were about to close around the artifact, the sound of footsteps echoed through the passages, growing louder with each passing heartbeat. The Nazi agents, those monsters in human form, had found them. A cold dread seeped into Aurora's bones as Elias's eyes locked onto hers, a flash of fear and determination igniting within them. The confrontation that followed was a blur of chaos. Shots rang out, the sound bouncing off the cold stone walls, making it hard to discern friend from foe. Aurora's knowledge of the labyrinth proved invaluable. She led Elias through narrow passages, dodging and weaving around the enemy. Her heart pounded in her chest, not just from the exertion but from the terror of being separated from Elias. In the heat of the battle, Elias was cornered, a look of desperation etched on his face as he fought to protect her and the artifact. Aurora's world narrowed to a single point: saving him, saving them. But it was too late. Wounded and outnumbered, Elias made the ultimate sacrifice. With his last ounce of strength, he thrust the artifact into Aurora's hands, his eyes burning with a plea. "Aurora, you must get out of you have to keep it safe. This device, it's the key. Don't let them have it. Promise me," he urged, his voice a mere whisper, laced with pain and conviction. Tears streaming down her face, Aurora nodded, her voice caught in her throat. Elias's sacrifice was a weight she could hardly bear. As she turned to flee, she felt his hand brush against hers, a final touch that spoke volumes of love and resolve. The escape was a haze of pain and darkness. Aurora stumbled through the winding passages, the artifact clutched tightly in her grasp. The sound of footsteps behind her grew fainter, but the ache in her heart only intensified. She was aware of her surroundings in a detached way, the dampness of the walls, the flickering shadows, the heavy silence. But most of all, she felt Elias's absence, a void that seemed to expand with every step. The device, once a mere object, now represented so much more: their love, his sacrifice, and her burden. Aurora's thoughts swirled, a maelstrom of grief, guilt, and determination. She knew that her life's mission had just begun. She had to honor Elias's sacrifice, to protect the artifact, and to ensure that their love wasn't in vain. The diary, once a simple repository of her thoughts and feelings, had now become a testament to their love story, a chronicle of hope and loss. As she emerged from the labyrinth, blinking in the bright sunlight, Aurora knew that she would carry Elias's legacy forward, no matter the cost. The pain of her loss was a fresh wound, but it also fueled her resolve. She would see this through, for Elias, for them, and for the future they had dared to dream of. With each step away from the labyrinth, Aurora felt the weight of responsibility settle more heavily upon her shoulders. The world outside seemed different now, tainted by the knowledge of what lay beneath. The sky seemed darker, the people around her more distant. Yet, within her, a spark had been lit. A spark of defiance, of courage, and of unconditional love. And as she vanished into the crowd, the artifact secure in her possession, Aurora knew that she would walk a path fraught with peril. But she was no longer the same young woman who had stumbled upon Elias in those fateful summer days of 1939. She was now a guardian of secrets, a keeper of promises, and a bearer of a legacy that would change the course of history. As I emerged from the labyrinth, the darkness seemed to swallow me whole. The rain-soaked night air clung to my skin like a damp shroud, chilling me to the bone. I trembled, not just from the cold, but from the weight of realization. Elias was gone. The thought echoed through my mind like a scream, but my lips were sealed, unable to release the anguish that threatened to consume me. I clutched the artifact tightly, its cold metal a stark reminder of the promise I had made. The walk home was a blur. My feet carried me forward, but my heart remained in the labyrinth, with Elias. I recalled the way he smiled, the way his eyes crinkled at the corners, and the way his voice made me feel seen. The memories assaulted me, making it hard to breathe. I stumbled, my vision blurring with tears. Upon entering my home, I was enveloped by the warm glow of the fireplace. My family, oblivious to my turmoil, bustled about, preparing for the evening. Their laughter and chatter seemed to mock me, a cruel contrast to the desolate landscape within. I forced a smile, a fragile facade to conceal the chasm that had opened inside me. As I sat through dinner, my eyes wandered, my mind elsewhere. My parents and siblings noticed my distraction, their concerned glances piercing my armor. But I couldn't let them in, not yet. The secret was mine to bear, a burden I couldn't share. The silence between us grew, heavy with unspoken questions. After dinner, I retreated to my room, shutting the door behind me. The solitude was a fragile comfort, but it was all I had. I lit a candle, the flickering flame casting shadows on the walls as I sat down with Elias's diary. The pages, now a tangible connection to him, rustled as I opened the book. His handwriting danced across the pages, a bittersweet reminder of his presence. Tears streamed down my face as I read, rereading the entries that chronicled our time together. The pain of his loss welled up, a tidal wave fading threatened to drown me. I couldn't help but cry out loud, the sound stifled by my hand. The diary became my confidant, a safe haven where I could express the anguish I couldn't share with anyone else. In the silence, I began to feel the weight of my promise. Elias had entrusted me with the artifact, and with it, a mission. A sense of responsibility, nascent but growing, took root within me. I knew I had to understand the artifact's purpose, to honor Elias's memory and fulfill his dream. The next day, I found myself at the local library, surrounded by dusty tomes and flickering lamps. I pored over books on cryptography, history, and science, seeking to unravel the mysteries of the artifact. The librarian, a kind-eyed woman with a warm smile, noticed my intensity and offered a gentle word of encouragement. Her presence was a comfort, but I knew I was alone in this journey. As I studied, Elias's face lingered in my mind, his words echoing through the pages. I felt his presence, a gentle urging to continue. The artifact, now a tangible connection to him, seemed to hum with an otherworldly energy. I began to sense that I was on the cusp of something much larger than myself, a journey that would take me into the heart of darkness and, perhaps, into the light of redemption. The days blurred together, a haze of grief, study, and determination. My family watched me with concern, but I couldn't bridge the gap between us. Not yet. I was trapped in a world of my own, a world of memories, secrets, and an unyielding resolve. The diary remained my closest companion, a testament to the love we shared and the sacrifice Elias made. As I wrote in its pages, pouring out my heart, I started to find a fragile sense of purpose. I would see this through, for Elias, for myself, and for the future. In the quiet hours of the night, when the world outside seemed to hold its breath, I felt Elias's presence, a whispered promise that I would carry his legacy forward. And with that thought, a spark within me ignited, a flame that would guide me through the trials to come. I knew that I had a long, difficult road ahead, but I was no longer alone. The artifact, Elias's memory, and my own determination would propel me forward, into a future shrouded in uncertainty, but illuminated by the love we shared. As I reflect on the journey that lay before me, I recall the weight of my grandmother's words, etched in the worn pages of her diary. The memories of those formative years in Willow Creek still linger, but I knew I had to leave, to find a way to honor Elias's sacrifice and protect the artifact. I packed my bags, said goodbye to the familiar, and boarded a train to a larger city, seeking anonymity in the crowd. The city was a cacophony of sounds, a symphony of car horns, chatter, and wailing sirens. I settled into a modest apartment, a far cry from the spacious house I grew up in. The walls were a dull gray, and the air was thick with the smell of stale cigarettes and cooking oil. But it was home, or at least, it was a place to lay low. I threw myself into research, poring over books on cryptography, history, and science. Libraries and archives became my sanctuaries, where I could lose myself in the words of experts and the whispers of the past. Elias's diary was my constant companion, a reminder of the love we shared and the mission that lay before me. As I delved deeper into the world of codes and encryption, I began to understand the true power of the artifact. It was more than a simple device, it was a key to deciphering enemy codes, predicting strategic movements, and turning the tide of the war. My heart swelled with a mix of emotions, pride, fear, and determination. I knew I had to be careful, that the Nazis were still out there, searching for the artifact, and for me. I recall one particular evening, huddled in a corner of the library, surrounded by stacks of dusty books. I was trying to decipher a coded message, my mind racing with possibilities. The librarian, a kind-eyed woman with a warm smile, approached me, her voice barely above a whisper. "You're looking for something, aren't you?" she asked, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. I hesitated, unsure if I could trust her, but something about her gentle tone put me at ease. I showed her the message, and together, we worked through the code, our fingers tracing the letters, our minds working in tandem. As the days turned into weeks, I found myself developing skills I never thought I'd possess. I learned to observe without being seen, to listen without being heard. I became a ghost, a whisper in the wind. I practiced my craft in public places, gathering information, and testing my limits. At the train station, I'd watch people, noting the way they dressed, their mannerisms, and their destinations. I'd blend in, a chameleon, adapting to my surroundings. But with each passing day, the weight of my solitude grew. The loneliness was a constant companion, a reminder that I was alone in this journey. There were times when I felt like I was drowning in my grief, when the memories of Elias and our life together threatened to consume me. I'd find myself standing in front of a window, staring out at the city, feeling like a small boat adrift in a stormy sea. And yet, I persevered, driven by the promise I made to Elias. I'd read his diary, rereading the words he'd written, finding solace in his love and determination. I'd look at the artifact, now safely hidden away, and feel a surge of purpose. I was a secret keeper, a guardian of a legacy that could change the course of history. One evening, as I walked home from the library, I noticed a figure lurking in the shadows. He was tall, with a fedora pulled low over his eyes, and a long coat that seemed out of place in the warm summer air. I quickened my pace, my heart racing, as I crossed the street, trying to lose him in the crowd. I glanced back, and he was gone, but the feeling of being watched lingered. In that moment, I knew I had to be more vigilant, to stay one step ahead of those who sought to claim the artifact for their own purposes. I took a deep breath, feeling a sense of resolve wash over me. I would continue to follow the path Elias and I had chosen, no matter the danger, no matter the cost. The city lights twinkled around me, a reminder that I was not alone, that there were still good people out there, people who cared, who would help me in my quest. As I stepped into my apartment, I felt a sense of determination settle within me. I would see this through, for Elias, for myself, and for the sake of our love. The journey ahead would be long, fraught with peril, but I was ready. I had the artifact, I had Elias's diary, and I had my own resilience. I would not falter. As I reflect on Grandma Aurora's life, I realize that her story is one of extraordinary depth and resilience. The weight of her past, though hidden from view, shaped her into the wise and loving grandmother I knew. With the artifact's power coursing through her veins, she became an unsung hero, fueling the war effort with every fiber of her being. In the secret office, surrounded by the hum of machines and the glow of code-breaking devices, Aurora worked tirelessly, her fingers flying across the keyboard as she transmitted crucial intelligence to the Allied forces. The room was a hive of activity, with agents and analysts poring over maps and reports, but Aurora's focus remained unwavering. She was a conduit for the information, a vessel for the coded messages that would change the course of history. The memories of those long nights, fueled by coffee and determination, still lingered in her eyes, a spark of pride and satisfaction that I would catch glimpses of when I visited her. The artifact, once a burden, had become a tool for good, and with it, she had helped turn the tide of the war. The sound of gunfire and explosions grew fainter, replaced by the cheers and tears of relief as the war finally drew to a close. Aurora's eyes, once haunted by the memories of Elias and the weight of her mission, began to shine with a quiet sense of satisfaction. She had done it, she had fulfilled her promise. In the aftermath of the war, Aurora sought a new beginning, a chance to rediscover herself in a world free from the shadows of conflict. She returned to Willow Creek, the small town where her journey with Elias had begun, and slowly started to rebuild her life. The rolling hills and green pastures seemed to envelop her in a sense of peace, a balm for her weary soul. She dedicated herself to helping others, using her experiences to support war-affected families and educate young minds. Her home became a sanctuary for those seeking refuge, a place where laughter and stories flowed freely. I remember the smell of her kitchen, filled with the aroma of freshly baked bread and simmering stews, a haven where people from all walks of life gathered to share in the simple joys of life. The artifact, now a cherished symbol of her past, was carefully stored in a beautiful music box, its delicate patterns and soft, golden glow a reminder of the love and sacrifices that had defined her journey. When I was old enough, she would open the box, and I would listen, entranced, as the soft, melancholic notes of the music seemed to transport us both to another time. As I grew older, I began to understand the depth of her character, the complexity of a woman who had lived a life of extraordinary sacrifice and courage. Her diary, now a treasured family heirloom, revealed the inner workings of her heart, the ebbs and flows of her emotions as she navigated the treacherous landscape of war and love. Grandma Aurora's eyes, once bright with a fire that seemed to burn within, had mellowed with age, but they still sparkled with a deep wisdom. Her laughter, warm and contagious, gathered as she shared stories of her youth. I remember sitting on her lap, listening to the whispers of her past, and header_start feeling assistant I feel I'm sorry for I feel the need to go on. As I look back, I see a woman transformed, her struggles and triumphs forging a sense of peace and serenity. The lines on her face, etched by time and experience, told a story of their own, a story of love, loss, and the quiet strength that had carried her through. The memories of our time together are etched in my mind like the intricate patterns on the music box. I recall afternoons spent in her garden, surrounded by the vibrant colors of blooming flowers, as she taught me the secrets of the earth and the importance of nurturing life. Her hands, wrinkled and worn, would gently guide mine as we planted seeds or pruned branches, imparting wisdom and patience. Those moments, simple yet profound, revealed the depth of her character. She was no longer just a figure of historical significance, she was a grandmother, a friend, and a confidant. The war was over, and the world was at peace, but for Grandma Aurora, the true battle had always been within, a battle to find her place in the world, to hold on to love, and to emerge stronger and wiser with each passing day. The artifact, once a symbol of war and secrecy, now rested in silence, a reminder of the power of love and sacrifice. I realize that her story is one of hope and redemption, a testament to the human spirit's capacity to heal, to adapt, and to find solace in the simplest of moments. As I close my eyes, I see Grandma Aurora's face, her eyes sparkling with a deep understanding, her smile a gentle reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always a way forward. Her legacy lives on, through me, through our family, and through the countless lives she touched. The diary, now a treasured, irreplaceable part of our family's history, ensures that her story will continue to inspire and captivate generations to come. The passing of time has allowed me to see Grandma Aurora's life in a new light. Her story is a testament to the transformative power of love and resilience. Though her path was fraught with peril and heartache, she emerged as a beacon of hope, her spirit unbroken and her heart full of love. In the twilight of her years, Grandma Aurora found a sense of closure, a chance to share her story, and to impart the wisdom she had gained. As I sit here, reflecting on her life, I am struck by the realization that her seemingly simple existence was, in fact, a masterpiece of courage, love, and sacrifice. The memories I have of her are bittersweet, filled with laughter and tears, but most of all, they are a reminder that our lives are woven together by threads of love, sacrifice, and the choices we make. Grandma Aurora's story is one that I will carry with me always, a reminder of the enduring power of the human spirit, and the boundless love that can transform even the darkest of times into something beautiful. As I sit here, surrounded by the familiar comforts of our old home, I find myself lost in the pages of Grandma Aurora's diary. It's been a while since I last opened it, but the memories came flooding back like a gentle rain on a summer day. The worn leather cover, the yellowed pages, and the faint scent of old books all combined to transport me to a different era, one of love, loss, and resilience. I'm still trying to process the journey I've been on, one that's taken me from a somewhat simplistic view of my grandmother to a profound understanding of her complexities. The diary was more than just a historical record, it was a map to her soul, a window into the depths of her heart. As I read through its pages, I began to see her in a new light, as a young woman navigating the turbulent waters of her time. Those childhood stories she used to tell me about fairies and heroes, about magic and bravery, I now realize were metaphors for her own extraordinary life. The fairies were the whispers of her conscience, guiding her through the darkest of times. The heroes were the people she loved and lost, their memories etched in her heart like the lines on a well-loved book. As I reflect on Grandma Aurora's legacy, I realize it's not just about the artifact or the secrets she kept. It's about the silent strength she embodied, the wisdom she shared through her stories, and the unconditional love she showed to everyone around her. Her life was a tapestry of experiences, woven from threads of joy and sorrow, love and loss. I've come to understand that her story is not just a relic of the past but a living, breathing entity that continues to inspire and guide me. I see parallels between her struggles and triumphs and my own life. The fears she faced, the choices she made, and the sacrifices she took, all these have become a part of my own journey. There's a sense of peace that comes from understanding, from finally seeing the world through her eyes. The diary, once a mysterious object, has become a personal treasure, a guide for navigating life's complexities. It's a reminder that our stories, though unique to each of us, are interconnected, part of a larger tapestry of human experience. In the end, Grandma Aurora's story teaches us that even in the darkest of times, there's always a way forward. It's a story of love's transformative power, of the resilience that lies within us all. As I look back on her life, I'm reminded that our legacies are not just about what we leave behind but about the lives we touch, the love we share, and the stories we tell. The artifact, now a symbol of her journey, rests in a small, intricately carved box, a reminder of the love and sacrifices that defined her path. I glance at it from time to time, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for the woman she was and the lessons she imparted. As I close this chapter of my journey, I'm left with a sense of awe and reverence for Grandma Aurora, for the complexities and beauty of her life. Her story has become a part of me, a guiding light on my own path. I hope that, in some small way, it can inspire others to discover their own hidden stories, to share them with the world, and to find strength in the resilience of those who came before us. The room around me grows quiet, the only sound the soft hum of the afternoon sun. I feel a sense of closure, of profound understanding, wash over me. Grandma Aurora's story is more than just a tale of the past, it's a bridge to the future, a reminder that our lives are woven together in ways both seen and unseen. In the silence, I find my voice, a voice that carries the whispers of the past, the wisdom of the present, and the hope for the future. I know that I'll carry Grandma Aurora's legacy with me always, that her story will continue to unfold in the lives of those who hear it. As I look directly at you, I want you to know that you're part of this story now, part of the tapestry that Grandma Aurora wove with such love and care. May her journey inspire you to find your own, to cherish the stories of those who came before you, and to share your own with the world. For in the end, it's not the artifacts or the secrets that define us but the love we share, the stories we tell, and the resilience that lies within us all. As I sit here, reflecting on Grandma Aurora's story, I'm reminded of the power of love and sacrifice. Her life was a testament to the human spirit, a flame that burns brightly even in the darkest of times. Through her eyes, we witnessed history unfold, a tumultuous era of war and secrets, of yet unfulfilled longings and unrelenting courage. I recall the summer of 1939, when a young Aurora met her match in an EIAs, a man who deserted to a foreign land and was forced to leave everything behind. Their love shone through like a beacon in a world torn apart by conflict and chaos. But their love wasn't just a romance, it was a choice, a stand against the darkness that sought to consume them. And when Elias fell, his spirit lived on through Aurora, guiding her through the trials and tribulations that lay ahead. The diario that I stumbled upon revealed a woman I thought I knew, yet it also showed me a stranger, one who bore the weight of the world on her shoulders. Her story is one of resilience, of finding strength in the most unexpected places. It's a reminder that we're all capable of more than we think, that we all hold within us a spark that can ignite into a fire that changes the world. If you've been moved by Grandma Aurora's journey, then I know that this story has fulfilled its purpose. It's a tale that transcends time and circumstance, speaking directly to our shared humanity. And as you carry her story with you, I encourage you to reflect on the lessons she's taught us, that love can conquer even death itself, that courage can be found in the quietest of moments, and that we're all connected through our experiences. As you continue on your own path, I invite you to share your thoughts and feelings with us. Please, leave a like on this video if you've been inspired by Grandma Aurora's story. Subscribe to our channel for more tales of hope and resilience. And if you feel compelled to share your own story or a message with us, please do so in the comments below. As we close this chapter on Grandma Aurora's life, I leave you with a question. What secret do you think Grandma Aurora held dearest to her heart, one that she never shared with anyone, not even her own family? Share your thoughts with us, and let's keep her memory alive through our conversations and reflections. In the end, Grandma Aurora's story isn't just about her, it's about each of us. And our own capacity for love, forgiveness, and strength. May her legacy live on through us, inspiring future generations to come. And as we say goodbye for now, I want to leave you with a sense of hope and optimism. May Grandma Aurora's story be a reminder that, no matter what life throws our way, we always have the power to choose how we respond, to find the beauty in the brokenness, and to emerge stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. The final moments of her life were a testament to her strength, a woman who had lived a life of purpose and meaning. And as we reflect on her journey, we're reminded that our own stories are still being written. So let us take a page from Grandma Aurora's book, and let us strive to live lives of courage, love, and resilience. In closing, I want to thank you for joining me on this journey. May Grandma Aurora's story stay with you always, a reminder of the transformative power of love and the human spirit. And as the music swells, I invite you to take a moment to reflect on your own story, to think about the secrets you hold dear, and to share your thoughts with us. Grandma Aurora's story will live on, a beacon of hope in a world that often seems dark and uncertain. And as we fade to black, I encourage you to hold on to the lessons she's taught us, to carry her memory with you, and to share her story with others. For in doing so, we ensure that her legacy lives on, inspiring us all to be stronger, braver, and more compassionate than we ever thought possible.